Hey there, I am Veronica Isles. I just did a live session on my YouTube channel and we are continuing it here. The topic of today's discussion is how to manifest someone to stop ignoring you. Now, this could be any type of situation. It could be love related, it could be a broken friendship, family relationship, it could be pretty much anything. It could even be business clients. Money is ignoring you. Health is ignoring you. But if you are not manifesting what you want, then in some way it is in fact ignoring you. And that's what I am here to help with today. So we'll discuss just some tips and tricks on how to attain this. I'll be taking questions if they are asked. And I'm happy to be with you today live. It's always fun to be live. Okay, so if someone is ignoring you, ask yourself an honest question. What are my go-to thoughts about this person when they come to mind? When I envision what they're doing right now, what they think of me, what is the very first thing that comes to mind? Your go-to statement, your reflex statement, the idea of, what this person thinks of me. Now, when you sort of alter this assumption, I do want to stress that it doesn't actually make them think these thoughts. You're not trying to mind control them. You're not trying to manipulate them. You're not trying to somehow coerce them to do something they wouldn't otherwise do. But what you are doing is you're kind of changing your assumption of self. So when you imagine this idea of this person in whatever context, being glad they're ignoring you, well, then that would mean that you don't have a very high opinion of yourself. Because if someone is glad they're ignoring you, well, then it's like you say, well, I suck. I suck so bad that they are so happy that I'm out of their life and they're so happy to be ignoring me. They don't want anything to do with me because I am just a loser. So do you see how that kind of ties into self-concept, that you don't think very high of yourself? It is important to note that when you raise your self-concept, you may find you don't even want this person anymore. Now, if it's a love relationship, maybe you dated somebody, they ghosted you. So you want them to stop ignoring you because they ghosted you. But, when you raise your self-concept, you might realize, well, I don't really want to be with a person that ever ghosted me. Like, I'm worth so much more than that. So I actually don't want this person anymore because I realize I'm worth so much more than that. If clients are ghosting you, maybe it's because you had a low self-concept and you thought, well, I'm going to offer bargain prices for my services because I don't feel like I'm worth very much. So maybe you sort of presented an idea of self and were trying to chase these clients down that didn't even want to pay your bargain prices. When you sort of adjust your sense of self, realize you're worth more, maybe you start charging more. And maybe like the clients just appear. You don't have to beg them anymore. They just appear and they're sort of begging you to take them on as clients. Okay, so this is like a topic that could be talked about forever. But I want to say the way you're going to get the best results is by being very simplistic in this. Don't elaborate this. Don't make yourself say affirmations for 3 hours a day. That shows a very low self-concept because it's like, well, you care about this desire more than you care about your ability to have free time because you're devoting 3 hours of your free time that you could be doing something pleasurable for yourself to manifesting this. So that's like more attention on the desire. You're holding it on a pedestal. No wonder it's ignoring you because you're sacrificing your own happiness and well-being to manifest it. We don't want to do that. We don't ever want to feel like we have to put in so much effort towards something. Least effort manifests fastest. And that's why you will have like a fleeting thought, like you will think of someone maybe that you haven't talked to in years. And then the next day you've suddenly manifested them in your life. They've tracked you down. They've sent you a message on Facebook and maybe your last name isn't even the same. And like, how did they even find me? And all I did was think about them once, but you thought of them in such a pure way that you were just kind of enjoying the idea of them. So if you want something to stop ignoring you, whether it's a person, an experience, whatever it is, money, again, your go-to statement, like you can think of this once and have it show up in your life the next day. There doesn't have to be a big time delay. And there shouldn't be a big, arduous waiting process. When you go to manifest something, especially the idea of someone to stop ignoring you, you should never think that there's going to be this long, long process, of waiting process. It's going to put you through hell while you're having to put in so many hours a day to manifest this. And you have to continue with that until it shows up, or else you won't get it. You're never going to get it. You're always going to be chasing it. Like, that's chasing. We want the desire to chase you, and the desire can chase you. Simplistic, your go-to thoughts. Explore this in your mind very honestly. And if your go-to thoughts about this particular manifestation are bad, that's okay. At least you've recognized it. At least you've kind of shone a light on it. You've made it real in a sense. If you continue to say, well, that's a bad thought, and I'm not supposed to have those kind of thoughts, and you kind of punish yourself for having those kind of thoughts and try to replace them with good thoughts, then all you're kind of doing is giving that idea more power, because you're saying it's so powerful that I have to spend so much energy to try to replace it. So it's powerful. In a sense, you're sort of implying it's very powerful. We want to imply it's nothing, and you can imply it's nothing by being very calm and kind of saying to yourself, it's meaningless. It's just, a negative, those sort of negative feelings and those negative ideas, like, they don't have to have power over you. So if your go-to statement is bad, recognize it, observe it, forgive yourself for thinking that, for believing it. But if you can just notice it, because a lot of times even these go-to statements, even about something like money, most of the go-to statements about money are bad. Hi, Sherry Berry. I think you're the first person that's talked. Go-to statements about money are usually really, really bad. People, when you say the word money or wanting to manifest money, like there's a lot of really bad ideas come to mind first. But let's notice these things, because we don't want them to turn into white noise. If we're trying to ignore them, they may still be there, but it's like white noise. You don't notice it. You stop hearing it. So let's notice it so that we can make it not be powerful anymore. We can make it stop replaying in our mind and heart, because it's not supposed to be there. Like, it's the learned behavior. It's not who you are. I've got a heart from N Lucky Diary. I'm curious, are the people who are here, did you come from YouTube, or did you just find me on TikTok? Maybe you just found me for the first time. I don't know. I'm still experimenting with how this works, but I'm very excited about it. Okay. So again, these go-to statements, what we think, like, do we imagine this person is glad they're ignoring us, taking pleasure in ignoring us? How often do you think about this? Because I see this a lot in love, where, like, when this person comes to mind, you're just going to imagine them maybe with someone new. Maybe they actually are with someone new, but maybe they're with someone new, so glad they're not with you. So glad that they're ignoring you, so glad they blocked you, taking like delight in being without you. Even if you see happy pictures of them on social media, that doesn't mean that they're happy because they're not with you. So let's stop selling ourselves so short. But again, the interesting thing is that, if someone's ignoring you, it's a key indicator that maybe your self-concept needs a lot of work. And that is okay. My self-concept was, yes, Sherry Berry, you can ask me a question. My self-concept was so low of what I believed I was worth in a relationship. I believed I was worth nothing. I believed I was worth zero money and never being able to have money. I believed I was only worth having to work 80 hours a week. So 40 hours regular and 40 hours overtime. That was me. That was who I was, because I was a hard worker, and I kind of took on the identity of being a hard worker, and that was a good thing in a sense, even though it was killing me. But I had a very low self-concept. So if someone is ignoring you right now, it's actually a blessing in disguise, because it will teach you new things about yourself, how to love yourself in a way you never did before. And the cool thing is, like, when you learn that everything stems from within, that doesn't excuse their behavior, but everything stems from within, and you kind of raise that self-concept. you may actually find the person comes back begging for you and you're like, no, I don't want you. What you did was unforgivable. I don't want you. I am worth so much more. And I hope you get to that point. I mean, I know what that feels like, and I know how wonderful it feels to manifest someone back. I'm talking about love. To manifest someone back and being like, okay, what you did, you're not worth it. I realize I'm worth so much more now. Now, that may not be your experience. Maybe the person you want to manifest, maybe they were ignoring you, and it's totally forgivable. You get to decide. It's your life, your experience, what makes you happy, but choose what makes you happy, not what will satisfy your ego. So a lot of times we want to manifest someone who is ignoring us because our ego is bruised. Our ego is bruised that they were ignoring us. So we want to manifest them back because of an ego desire. Try not to fall in that trapping. Okay, haven't seen you in a while. Okay. I post daily, so maybe you haven't been on TikTok for a while. Let's see if I got any other questions. Use your sleep tapes. Just caught you here. Can I ask you a question? Oh, that's the same one. Okay. If I see a question below, I will try to answer it. But you can, whatever your desire is, it can stop ignoring you. I don't want to imply that all, desires could be ego-based, but really ask yourself the question, why do I want this? Is it because I think it's going to fix something inside of me? Is it because I think it's going to bring me a level of happiness I don't think I currently can have? Is it because I think it's going to fix me in some way? All of these reasons are not good. You don't want to manifest something like that's an attachment. That's what we call attachments. So if you've ever heard that you need to be detached, you know you have an attachment. If you think this person or this amount of money or weighing a certain weight or having this particular car, like a Lamborghini or something like that, is going to fix you, is going to make you happy in a way that you can't be happy now. You have the ability to feel any way you want right now. External circumstances don't make us feel things. Like, your feelings should never be based on it should be based on what you want to feel, not reacting or responding to circumstances or having material items or even having a person. Like, you have to feel these things first and then the experiences show up. It doesn't work the other way around. But you will always be chasing a desire. If your go-to thoughts really suck about it wanting you, about your ability to have it, about, how do you see yourself? What kind of person do you see yourself as? Do you see yourself as someone who can have these types of things, who can have someone be engaged with you, want to spend time with you? Your self-concept, again, as we spoke about earlier, your self-concept can be anything. Like, your self-concept and your levels of confidence and the way you feel in terms of being accomplished don't have to be based on prior experiences. If you suddenly want to manifest experiences in your life where you are accomplished, where you are succeeding in every single level and every single way, you have to identify yourself as this kind of person first. You could look in the mirror and look into your eyes and feel yourself, the reflection staring back at you as the kind of person that has this. It could just be as simple as, when you're getting dressed in the morning, or the kinds of things you're saying to yourself all day long. Like, are you calling yourself stupid? Are you expecting people to ignore you? Are you expecting money to ignore you? What are your assumptions about life? And I would urge you, maybe you came here because there's a love relationship where someone's ignoring you, but I would urge you to see what else is ignoring you in other areas of your life, because everything is tied together. So if you're being ignored in love, you could very well be being ignored in a friendship. When you're having a bad day, everything seems to go wrong. Like, there's a theme at play. Start noticing these themes. And it'll change your life. And if you stick to this for you because you want to feel better, you want to be the best. Like, don't just do this to get the person to stop ignoring you. do this because you want to transform into the best version of you. I don't think I mentioned earlier, you can go to studywithveronica.com to get my free course. It's absolutely free. Get a taste of what I have to offer for free. I do have paid courses there as well. I've got specials on coaching, dreamlifebyveronica.com if you want me to personally coach you. I don't think we've had any questions today. I think it's just been me talking. But thank you so much for being here. I'm excited to be experimenting with these live sessions. Send me an email at veronica@veronicaisles.com if you have suggestions, topic ideas, things you'd like me to talk about. But you can get someone to stop ignoring you. I do want to say, you hear a lot about everyone is you pushed out. And well, if someone is ignoring you, it's your fault. If you take the idea of self-blame, you're never going to feel better about yourself in order to match the state you need to manifest the results you want. So, while I do believe everything is you pushed out, not everyone, but everything, all of your experiences, it's a mirror. It is you pushed out. It still doesn't condone someone's behavior. If they've treated you badly, it's on them. But you do want to sort of examine, what put yourself in this situation? What was I feeling about myself? What was I feeling they were going to do for me or, not do for me? What was I expecting in terms of this particular relationship? I think I do have a question. To deal with extreme anger towards SP for not contacting me as often as I want. Okay, well, you have every right to be angry because if someone is ignoring you, it's anger. Just don't let that anger overwhelm you. You tend to perpetuate the anger when you think the situation is permanent. So yes, let yourself yell it out. It sounds like, you've been angry before, so you've probably been there, done that. If you feel the need to let the anger out, release it. Just release it in a way that's positive channeling for yourself. Don't stress yourself out, but do sort of honor all of your emotions. Do see him as capable of doing right by you, making it up to you. Will this be enough? You get to choose. But really ask yourself honestly, you at your best. Is this enough? Can he make it up to me? Is it enough to move past this, work past this? He can give you more. If it's a recurring theme, hot and cold, ask yourself if you are being hot and cold in some way with yourself. Maybe you are not honoring yourself as much as you should be. Maybe you're just, wanting to love him. But what about the love for you? A lot of times things will literally just fix themselves because we all long for the same thing, which is healing, love, good relationships. None of us strive for bad relationships. We don't want that. We want good. We want happiness. We want to feel joy. We want to, feel good. We don't want broken relationships. None of us want that. So maybe you just need to pull back a little bit and let it fix itself. Maybe you've been fixating on him a little too much and trying to fix the situation. Maybe you just need to pull back a little bit, love yourself more, be very mindful about your beliefs in terms of relationships. Can I have what I want? Do I think I deserve? Having communication. Maybe even play around with this idea of having so much communication that it's too much, that you end up having to silence your phone because it's just too much. Now, be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. This very much could happen, but you need to become the powerful one in the situation. A lot of times this has to do with sort of cutting off the ability, the feeling of needing to fix it. So you're sort of going to cut that off, do your own thing, honor yourself more. And I'm not telling you to move on from the situation or to no longer want this. You are absolutely worth more. You could put your foot down and say, you know what, this is not working for me. And you could just take a pause from the relationship. That's kind of extreme, but you really could do that and still manifest the results you want. But you have to feel better, and you have to sort of see yourself in a higher and better way. And I would urge you to do that. I hope this could help you today. If you're watching this replay on YouTube, try not to miss my next live show. I love you all.